Welcome, Johan Pouwelse. You are an associate professor and the lead of the blockchain lab at Delft Technical University. Tell me more about the blockchain lab. What does it do?
Yeah, the blockchain lab at Delft investigates all aspects of the blockchain technology, not from the theory, but actually learning by doing and running our own blockchain and learning from it, expanding it and seeing where it goes wrong, repairing it, and we've been doing it for various years.
Yes, because I noticed that you apparently exist since 2007, which is a full year before Satoshi Nakamoto released his white paper on Bitcoin. How did you know about blockchain in 2007?
Yeah, so at that time there was only a few people interested in this type of technology. From the distributed system, from my field, and there's the crypto people, the fantasy people, there's all sorts of people who want to make their own currency or turn lead into gold for many years. And now it was called distributed accounting systems in 2007. So we had it in the summer of 2007. We did a launch, and I got some together with the Harvard University and Delft teaming up, and there was launch and got some nice attention. So there was. Our live launch was a bit earlier than was it the January 2009 Genesis block of Bitcoin. But our system is a bit different trade-off. So we have unbounded scalability. So that's a bit different than the 7 transactions per second of Bitcoin. So that's severely limited. Except we have no decent security. So that's a bit.
There's always a trade-off, right? But this is
exactly.
So this is your own type of blockchain technology.
Yeah, so we have our own blockchain fabric, and we're improving it over the years with student work, and we've been running it continuously since 2007 and improving it. Not many people know about it because it's not a key selling. It was just not good enough. But now people start to appreciate the term unbounded scalability. All the teams are now discovering that scalability is actually quite hard. It's unsolved. So.
But you have solved it. At the expense
yes.
of security.
Exactly. If you just throw away security, that's a nice trade-off.
Okay, so is that one of your goals then to solve security, or are you focused elsewhere?
Exactly. So we want to. So if you look at the first generation technology like Bitcoin, and we now call the smart contracts, we only have that operational for a year-ish, 2 years-ish in the world. And then the third generation, we see that as something which is programmable, future-proof, scalable, and all that stuff, and nobody has any idea how to do that. And we're trying to do that with different trade-offs and different consensus model, all these things. So that's what I do full-time and get paid for, together with 22 students at the moment.
You must have the best job then.
Yeah, it's actually interesting that people actually care. That wasn't the case the previous 10 years.
No. So, were you a developer yourself when you got interested in this field, or?
Yeah. So I have so in my glory days I developed a device driver for the Linux kernel, but that's all very much gone skill. And now I just manage and paper pushing and the usual, and try to see where things are going, and managing the lab and the research and setting the scientific roadmap.
Okay. So what is on your roadmap for the coming 2-3 years?
Yeah, so what we've been doing for a while is trying to build a whole ecosystem. So as of 2007, we're trying to build bandwidth as a currency, so that it's not a normal cybercurrency with lots of zeros or something, but it's actually based on an asset, like gold, the gold standard, or that copper, or Greek bonds or German bonds, and for us it's internet bandwidth. And we've been trying our first live system 2007, and this whole ecosystem around it. You can make it tradable, transferable, and one of the things for next year is that we go live with a fully decentralized market. So we already have been building prototypes which didn't have security, didn't have scalability, but worked as long as everybody was honest and not too big. And since last June of this year, we have made it still insecure, but we have now solved the scalability of a fully decentralized market, and you should not be able to spam it too much and things, but we'll see. So the integrity is still an ongoing issue.
What will be your first user group for bandwidth as a currency?
So that's our own lab. So our own little academic playground where we have our own file sharing client and this collaboration. So that's our tribal brand where we have. So we can do anything there and upgrade our ledger and our software. So that we have our users there, just European YouTube. That's our key use group. And we're also on that side, we're doing that. And on the other side, we're now teaming up. As companies would like to work with is now that we call it, instead of distributed accounting system, we call it a ledger or blockchain. They like to. So they gave us 16 signatures. So we now are starting up these big projects. One of the things that got approved a month ago was a 2.2 million euro project with the logistics sector. So we'll have one or two of those, and then the lab is full for the coming years.
Mm-hmm. So you're working on different kinds of use cases then with regard to blockchain technology. It's not just the financial part, but also you mentioned logistics. Can you expand a bit more? What is the application of blockchain technology?
Yeah, so if we have our own fabric, and one of the things slowly that we've been running our own ecosystem for a while, and just this band as a currency in our own YouTube client or BitTorrent client, then we understand a bit how to run that and things. But if you want to be commercially relevant, we should be able to understand and solve some of the complexities in the business world, and specifically logistics, because there's a lot of chance that this field will get significantly disrupted the coming years. And because the Amazon, the Alibaba, they do things from the big platforms. And what we're trying to do, a blockchain regulated marketplace, then you replace the engine of Uber, Airbnb and Amazon and all these players. You create a single collaborative platform for various marketplaces. So if you do it right, we don't know how to do that, but if you do it right, we think we can make a single unifying marketplace for any asset trading. So that would be slightly disruptive.
Okay. So you mentioned you have 22 students right now. What kind of studies are they majoring in?
So that's the computer science master. We also have mathematician and also other fields a little, but mostly computer science who do software development and understanding algorithm design for almost 90% of their time, and then thesis writing or PhD thesis, master thesis. So it's mostly master students, and we're now building up a team of PhD students again and postdocs.
Do you think that you have enough diversity in your team? I don't hear regulatory, for instance, or is that required, or do you think it's not required?
No, we just invite them and they come by, so we don't need to pay them or something. So
okay.
we can. That's the nice thing if you have a bit of critical mass with the blockchain and expertise, and if they drop by, they usually understand that this is people that actually work on blockchain and they nerd around. And where stuff, there's not many development teams you can just visit where they're doing their own fabric. So most of them are distributed and they're run by some foundation, or the founder is never to be found. So that's...
Yeah, people know where to find you. With regards to the Dutch Blockchain Hackathon, are there any particular things that students from your lab might participate in, or that you would like somebody to see work on?
Yeah, so we might donate a session that our own blockchain, the unbounded scalability, the band as a currency from our own in the decentralized market. We'll see where we stand in February, but we'll probably do. Delft will probably be involved in the Groningen thing.
Very nice. Last question. I get the impression that you have room for 22 students and that you're fully booked right now. But if places open up, what are the requirements, or what would your advice be for interested students to join your lab?
Yeah, so we have at all levels. So we have openings for blockchain experts at associate professor and assistant professor. So we have 2 lifetime faculty appointments. This is the Dutch. So if you get the professor
job,
level, if you pass the interview, you have a job for life for the rest. And that's how the state works here. So we have two open vacancies for blockchain or distributed systems in general. So that's open. And then postdocs and PhDs. So we're also trying to find new people there. There's some budget now. And hopefully my full-time job to get more budget coming. And we're almost close in terms of master students, or almost full in terms of master students, just because we don't have the fixed faculty and I can't clone myself yet. So that's,
Not yet.
there's several people, but from the hardcore, so we have a bit more on the crypto side. We can bring on a bit more people. And what we usually do is the people who we educated in the Delft University and the master, and we know the curriculum, they can come into our lab and then specialize further in the blockchain.
All right. Last question. What do you think is attainable in the next 3 to 5 years with regard to blockchain technology? Where do we stand in another 3 to 5 years?
that I have no idea, but I see some backlash coming that we're now at. We'll see. I don't think it's possible to get the hype any higher. We are now seeing the first little crack with our 3 consortium, that it's not easy to come together as standard existing organization and to do things as like proper payment networks. That takes the real deals. The previous version upgrades took 15 years. That's sort of the normal lead time. And now seems that we can't do magic with the blockchain, but we'll see. Or there's the first cracks appearing. But for the rest, there's only small scale. There's not billion-dollar companies or business models flowing through blockchains. It's a big economy, but it's very reasonably isolated from the normal economy. It's just a speck if you look at the big economic flow of money. So in certain leads, it probably, especially the real-time information stuff, I see the blockchain taking up first. And I pick specifically logistics because it's ripe for disruption. They don't have big innovation budgets. They don't have IT departments. They don't have an innovation manager. So fintech people, they're up against people with real big pockets. So in fintech, it's very difficult to find companies. They haven't solved the trust problem, and there's too many bugs in the blockchain things, the second generation stuff, the contracts and things. So where are we in 5 years or a few years? Yeah, that's interesting. Probably the first use cases are working. That have to. Maybe we solved both the security and the scalability and future-proofness, but we'll see.
Thank you.